It's 6 o'clock. We're gonna give everyone about 2 more minutes to join. But I hope everyone's doing well. Thanks, Robert, for being here. Robert is my co-host. He's also my assistant. Um, if at any point in time you guys have questions, please give us like a thumb up. We're gonna give you opportunities to ask questions throughout the webinar. But we do ask, that we keep ourselves muted outside of the question portions. So yeah, give us 2 more minutes so other people can join, and we'll get started.
You don't want something that's meatier. You want something that's meatier. You know what I mean? I want something red and simple. Yeah.
Didn't it say to keep you muted? And all I hear is.
Yes, please.
Your face and film. I like it. Oh no. I was just thinking about where that looks cool. Oh, okay, that's what. Guy. Okay. Wait, is this?
All right.
Oh, there we go. Can I say it?
Irene, I'm gonna mute you real quick just so we can start. But you can always unmute yourself if you have questions. I think most people are in here now. I think there's one person still trying to get in, but he's been trying to get in for a few minutes now. So we're gonna start. Hope everyone's okay. Hope everyone had a good day. I know it's 6 o'clock. You're probably all just getting home from work, and you're excited to go into class, home line class. Can everybody hear me okay? Can I get a thumbs up if you can hear me okay? You can put it in the chat. And if you guys can turn on your camera so I can see your guys' faces. I love to see people's faces. We don't really get to see people's faces in this business. We work so remotely. Hey, Mauricio, Jeremy, thank you for waving. Appreciate it. All right, so it looks like we can be heard all along. Okay. All right. Okay. So we can hear me. We're good to go. Hey, Ariana, thank you for making it. Appreciate you. So we're gonna get started. And Robert, please keep an eye out on others that are trying to join. That way they can be admitted as they trying to get in. But okay, so everybody, welcome to the Home Buying Secrets. Um, how to become a homeowner in 2026 without a large down payment, how to save up to $55,000 in your home buying process, and how to find out when is the best time for you to buy a house, specifically you, right? So this webinar is not free. I want everyone to pay with attention. Okay, so please turn on your cameras. I would love to see your faces. Please turn off your phone unless you're using your phone to view this webinar, and engage and take notes. Don't just listen real long, but engage, take notes so you can implement these tactics and save yourself a lot of money when you buy your house. I want to offer you guys for being here. I thank you, and I'll give you guys a gift. All right, it's a gift worth up to $5,000 when you buy your house. In order to claim this gift, you have to, one, be present. We got to do two things, right? One, be present, and the second part is at the end. The first part is text me you're present to this number. This is the number I've been texting everyone from. You all have this number. You got this link, you got this number. So text me to that number, or if you have my email, just email me. Hey, I'm present. Let me know you're here, so that I know that we can still give you this gift of closing costs when you buy your house. So go ahead. Let's take 2 minutes to text present to that number when you get a chance. I think I got a few text messages already. Eddie, there we are. Nice to see you. Irene, nice to see you. Rihanna, Mr. Ray, Michael. Sophia, I know you kind of just joined. we're giving a gift to those who get here on time, and we're here until the end of the webinar. If you text me the word present right now, and at the end at the webinar, I'm gonna tell you another word to text me. We're gonna give you a gift worth up to $5,000 for your closing costs when you buy your house. So Sophia, text me present so we don't miss you on that gift. There you go. Thank you for being here, everybody. We're gonna give a few more, another minute for everyone to text, and then we'll go on to the next slide. All right, that's mostly everybody. Okay. Um, yeah, that's everybody now. All right. So this is the agenda: how to save up to $55,000 when you buy a house, right? And secret number two: how to buy a house with little to no money down. We're going to talk about the dream for all in that section. That's probably what brought most people here. Secret number three is how to find out when to buy your house. We're going to show you the formula that we use to determine who is and who isn't ready to buy a house. Now, with low down payment, this is a VA deal that we just closed. All right. My buyer, Ernie, bought this house for $467,000, as you can see there. 467,000, as you can see here. It appraised for 658,000. He put zero down. Not only did he put zero down, we got him $17,000 in seller credits for his closing costs, which ended up being $4,600 more than what we needed. Ernie got paid $4,600 to buy this house, and he bought himself into $188,000 worth of equity. If Ernie can do it, why can't you? All right. With average credit, you don't need great credit. This is another customer I closed last year. As you can see, her FICOs were 587, 585. I got them approved for $850,000. They're in their home now. They're happily ever after. And she had a lot of doubts whether she was going to get approved because she went to several banks. A lot of them denied her because most banks don't work with 580 FICOs, but we have over 150 investors at eMortgage Capital. We found her a home. We got her a great rate, and we were able to get these heroes, these school teachers and psychologists into a home and build wealth. This is a friend of mine. Put 5% down, right? 3 years later, this house is worth $200,000 more than what it's worth. How many business opportunities are you going to get in life where you can put $50,000 down and make 200,000 in 3 years? And there aren't that many businesses. It's a beautiful business. It's a beautiful opportunity. It's a beautiful choice to buy a house. All right. Now, my story, I want to tell you guys a little bit about me. I was a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. I got a bachelor's in physics with a minor in mathematics. I'm all about the numbers. And I specialize in helping first-time homebuyers, particularly those who don't have a lot of money to buy their house. My family is from El Salvador. They came, and most of them live in Compton. They didn't come from the walk of life that understands credit, financing, and how mortgages work. So I take a lot of pride in helping folks understand the steps and the benefits that we have as Californians when we want to buy houses. So I wanted enough about me. I want to talk. I want to hear about you guys. What's your why? What's your motivation for getting up and coming to this webinar? Go ahead at this moment, unmute yourself and speak. Tell me what your why is. Why did you come here? If you want, you can also add it in the chat. But yeah, I hear someone. Where is the chat?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, my name is Mary, and I'm here because of the Dream for All program.
Awesome.
I wanted to buy a house years ago, about 6 years ago, but a lender told me that I would be house poor. So he
Oh
said I
no.
could have the house, but I would only be able to afford the mortgage. So
Oh,
now my mother's 75 and she really wants to move in with us. So with that, we need a bigger place. So we're looking for a home.
okay. Well, yeah. Sorry that you had to go through that. And did you decide on buying the house? Is this your first time?
No, this is my first time. I could have bought the house, and when I'm thinking back, I think I should have
Oh,
because we're in a better financial place now, and we would have been paying like 4,000 a month,
yes, yeah.
and now we're probably gonna have a higher payment.
In rent, yeah.
And then it was COVID, and everybody
Oh,
was like, let's not pay our mortgage and put it on the end of the mortgage. So it was really, I should have just bought, you know, then.
yeah. I get you. It happens. A lot of people here are gonna say the same thing. Eddie, tired of renting. I was wanting to buy a house, but rent is killing me. I'm tired of renting. Stop, stopping your rent increasing every year. All right. Californians are gonna pay $2.2 million in rent over the next 30 years. That's crazy when you think about it and you add it up. This is money your children could inherit. You can give this money to your kids via equity instead of giving it to your landlord. Now, because that and it's always hard. Just like what was, I forgot your name. I think it was Wendy, or was it the just like our last speaker? Renting at that moment was easier than buying a house. The mortgage, the payments were easier. They're always going to be like that. But down the line, your life gets better. Your mortgage stays the same while rent catches up and then surpasses it. We're all kind of like a goldfish, where if we leave ourselves in an environment that doesn't challenge us, we're not going to grow. But when we put ourselves in an environment where we have to overcome things, where we're challenged, we grow. We are resilient human beings. When we're challenged, we grow. That's how it works. And I'm sure that once we challenge ourselves to do what is necessary to buy a house, hey, maybe I'm going to be house poor, but eventually it'll get better and I'm not going to be house poor. And then down the line, I'm going to be stronger than I am today for taking on that challenge. And so building equity, right? Tax benefits. I personally believe that the tax code in America is very unfair. There's a lot of tax benefits when you buy houses that most people don't have. In my opinion, most people pay too much taxes, and it's sad. And real estate, people who own homes are getting tax breaks that no one else is. And pride of ownership. My house is a small house. I got a small yard in my front yard, but I enjoy cutting the grass every day, or not every day, but every week. I don't know what about going outside and just cutting my own grass and treating my own yard that gives me like joy. I'm like, I know this is a small house. It's 2 bedrooms, 900 square feet, but it's my house. I love it. Of stability. Some of us have family, and living in apartments, you're living around a lot of characters, some of which are not the best to have near children, and buying a house is going to put you next to other people with families. It's going to make is a safer neighborhood, and it's better to raise kids in neighborhoods with houses. And it's stability. It gives you stability of life. And pets. I have 2 dogs. All right. My Instagram is Dog Dad Mortgages. I love my dog. I can't at this point in my life, I can't go anywhere without my dogs. And that's my favorite part of my house, my dogs. My mom hates it, but they're inside dogs. I treat them like little humans. But it's my house, my rules. And so I want to hear from you guys. What are the things getting in your way of buying a house? Can I get one volunteer to say what is their biggest obstacle to buying a house?
I think my biggest obstacle is I just need the education on how to go about buying the house.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Don't know where to
Um,
start? Down
for
payment?
me, it's the down payment. I tried to do this a few years ago on the new builds, and when they were telling me about how much the payment was going to be, it was just insane, like almost 5,000, 6,000 a month, which is pretty high.
Wow, I'm sorry about that.
It's the same for me. I my name is Michelle. It's the same for me. It's the down payment because it's hard to save money when you're paying such high rent. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, 100% I agree. Okay, no, I agree. So home prices, right, in 2026 are going to go up about 6%. Depends on the area. The more metropolitan your area is, the better it's doing. And part of that is because rates are getting better. The relationship rates have with houses, the lower the rates go, the higher the prices go. And this has been the interest rates for the last year. It's bringing more and more people into the market, which is a good thing because then now we don't have to pay, $5,000, $6,000 a month for a mortgage. Now our mortgage payments are going to be a lot more reasonable. And so it's a good opportunity because this is the growth of houses over the last 2 years, right? Homes in LA have gone up their median price by over $115,000. Instead of us looking at it as like, man, the thing I'm trying to buy is getting more expensive, we can be looking at it as I'm going to be making $50,000 to $60,000 out of my house every year. This is an investment that I'm going to be able to pass on to my kids. For most folks in California, it's hard to save, just like you said. But for most folks, it's harder to plan to retire. And in 10 years, your $800,000 house might be worth 1.6 million. And for most folks nowadays, that's their retirement plan. I'm gonna sell my house for 1.6, take out the equity, live in Arizona, and I'm gonna own 2, 3 houses. I'm gonna live off the rent. And a lot of us, it's hard to focus on retirement when we're thinking about next month and the following month. But this is the path that homeownership sets you forward. It stabilizes your life and it makes your life better, not just now, but like down the road too. The benefits of being a homeowner are much more apparent down the road. And so your secret number one, how to save up to $55,000 when you buy your house. Your credit is so important, and these are the things that affect our score and how much they weigh it by. When we see your credit, we're going to be able to tell you, hey, pay this down, pay that down, out yourself as an authorized user on an account, and that'll boost your scores 20, 30, 60 points. I've gotten people while in escrow from 700 to 760, from 600 to 640. Everyone's a little different, but we will be able to rapidly rescore you, get you in a better credit position so that you're not paying so much interest, you're not paying so much mortgage insurance. Because when you buy a house on a conventional loan, your mortgage insurance is affected by your FICO scores. And a 30-point FICO score difference can mean a $50,000 difference in 10 years. And think about what you could do with that 50,000. You can buy a car, send your kids to a better school, invest it in real estate, you know? And I want to show you, this is Brooke. She was here on our last webinar, right? These were her FICOs, 500, 580. And 2 weeks later, we got her to 640. We needed the 640 for her to get, her loan. Otherwise, like
I'm Eric.
I found Eric on Instagram. I don't even know how. And I attended, I guess, a Zoom virtual workshop with Eric and Jose's help. And then I found the home in one of my favorite areas of Long Beach. So it was smooth and I'm happy. Like I said, I didn't think it was possible, but I did it with Eric and Jose's help.
Sorry, I fast forward that a little bit, but I just wanted you to hear. She was just like you guys. She was in a Zoom webinar, just like we are right now, listening to me talk about the exact same slides we're talking about right now. And she was scared, just like most of us were. We're all, a little afraid of rejection. It's just human nature. But she had faith, and she was courageous enough to take that leap of faith, and she was rewarded with a beautiful house in Long Beach. Right now, I want you guys to go to my Instagram account. On the bottom, there's this link. It's going to open up to my digital business card. At the very bottom is a credit repair tool. It's in English. It's a PDF that gives you some really helpful tools that a credit rebuilder gave me. So that way you can position your credit in a better place, so that when you're buying your house, your credit's strong and you're getting the best options. So let's take 2 minutes to allow people to go to the Instagram, hit the little button, and download the credit repair information. So that way we can help ourselves out and boost our credit scores. So we'll give you guys 2 minutes to do that.
What if my score is okay for now? Like I'm at 720 up to like 769, 780.
That's great. Okay, so yeah, for the state, like let's say the Dream for All, 760, 780, everyone gets the same rate. But for outside of the state, like let's say we were gonna do like a regular loan, the difference between 720 and 750 was gonna be like $200 to $300 because of the insurances. So if we go to the state, man, that's great. We have nothing to worry about. But if not, then like we ended up somewhere else, we'll let you know, hey, what we can do to get you that 760. Because typically banks, the highest credit tier they have is 760. Some of them have a 780 tier, but ideally at 760 plus, you're gonna get the best offers they have. But as far if you're here for the Dream for All, 700, anything above 700 is good. you're going to get the same rate no matter, what you do to improve your score. So if you're good with that, we're good with that too.
I have a question for the Dream for All. How many people are going to be chosen for or be able to, like, how much
So
money do they have to distribute the 150 each?
uh, let me actually look that up.
Eric,
Yes, ma'am.
the website was not working. It says there was a problem loading it
For which one?
for the link from the Instagram.
Oh my God. All right. If it's not working, I'm gonna have to text it to you. If something's wrong with it, my bad. Text me, and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
So, Eddie, to answer your question, $300 million.
How much?
So,
$300 million? Wow,
yeah, yeah,
so how many
300.
people? Well,
So, how many depends on who. So, some folks are gonna buy a $500,000 house. Some of them are gonna be in the 800K. Let me see if I can do the math for that.
well, that's 2,000 people that are going to be picked. And,
Yeah, about let's say 2,000 people.
and that is
Then,
that only in California or in all
so
of?
each state has its own housing financial agency. And so like Nevada has one, Texas has one, and they all generate, money for these programs via the taxes that they generate.
No.
We're lucky in California, we're not lucky because we pay a lot of taxes. But because we pay a lot of taxes, there's a lot of support. And so like it works similar for the cities. The more money the cities make, the more they're able to help their home buyers. Like Long Beach had a program where if you live in Long Beach, you're buying a house in Long Beach, they'll give you a grant. It's like a $10,000 grant to buy a house.
Mm.
And so every city is different. It depends on money availability. So is every state. I'm jealous. Honestly, I think Texas probably has the best housing financial agency. Um, but Cal HFA is very similar. They have different programs. Um, but, yeah, I think the reason why the Dream for All is so popular here is because it's most folks are like, man, I don't want to live very far from work. And that's what people are telling me with my current qualification. Or I don't want to buy a house, that's not big enough to serve my family. And so the Dream for All putting 20% down gives you way better options. You can live a little closer to work and buy a nicer house, and it'll give you the same mortgage payment, because the assistance that they give you, there's no payment on that part. You pay that at the end when you sell your house or when you refinance out of the program.
Is there a
But
limit on the price of the house that they let you buy or look for?
so the income limit is gonna set that.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, so the income limit is gonna set that because they're basically, yeah, there's only so much money you can make to qualify. If you make
Yeah.
more, you won't qualify. So I don't know what that number is. I think it's gonna be by county. It should be close to 1 million,
Mhm.
900,000 maybe. Um,
I mean,
but
I'm sure most of us won't want to get something that much because then we want to be able to afford the payment also, right?
yeah, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Is Yeah, the nicer the house, the bigger that price gets, so does the mortgage.
Eric, it's
Yes, ma'am.
Michelle. Another question. So me and my daughter are the ones wanting to buy a house. What if my credit score is really good and hers isn't?
So the rule that they go by in lending is the lower of the two. So we all have three scores. Your score is gonna be your middle score. Your daughter's score is gonna be her middle score. And then they're gonna look at the two buyers, and whoever has the lower score, that's the score they go by. And so for the state, all we need is at 660 is gonna give us the same rate. There are other programs. I was going to talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, where you can add the rates to all the credit score together and divide to get like an average score toward a blended rate down payment assistance program.
Mm.
Um, the rate's not as good. The state's always going to have the best rate, the best program. But if like, hey, we can't fit that program because one of the buyers has low credit and we need them because of the income, then we can always deviate to another down payment assistance program where we're blending the rates and we're not being denied because of low score.
I understand. Yeah, my score is good. My daughter's is not so good, but we can talk about that later.
Yes, ma'am. So one of the other challenges that people had, right, is down money. Where do I get the money to buy a house? One of the things a lot of people aren't going to tell you, and the reason, and I know because I'm in the business, the people that are buying their first house at a young age, and it's a nice house and it's everything everybody wants, their parents are giving them 200,000, 250,000 like, to help them buy their house. You know what I mean? Like it's just math, like, but if we have a down payment, everything becomes easier. Everything becomes more affordable, which is why, again, the Dream for All so popular. This is Luis. Luis told me he had 88, or I'm sorry, $8,000 to buy a house. He didn't think it was going to be enough. He didn't want to apply, but I want you to hear his experience, his outcome from himself.
What is your name and when did you buy this house?
My name is Jorge Sanchez, and I bought this house in October 28th, 2024.
What rate did you lock in at?
I have 5.625,
How much did you pay out of pocket to buy your house?
2,200.
So yeah, with $2,200, he bought his house. The reason we were able to erase this. The reason we were able to get him in with $2,200 is because we got him a down payment assistance program from the state, Cal HFA. And then when we negotiated, we told the seller, "Hey, Mr. Seller, we need $17,000 to buy your house." It was a lot. We didn't need that much. They said, "Oh no, we can't do 17. We can only do 13." And I was like, "Okay, we'll take it." And we went back to Luis and said, "Luis, you only need 2,200 to buy the house. Do you want it?" And he said yes. He jumped on it. So we negotiate. Sometimes we get all the credits for the closing costs. Sometimes we get more. Sometimes we get we fall a little short from all the closing costs. But we negotiate. That's how we get you into a house with a little out of pocket. Is we negotiate for the seller to give us credit to cover your closing costs. And
What is your name?
this is Sergio. Sergio bought a house in LA, 700,000. We got him 30,000 in seller credits. That covered all his closing costs. So if we get you money from the seller to cover your closing costs and a down payment assistance program, that's how you're getting into your house with little to no money in the pocket. Now, Cal HFA has a standard program called My Home, and it's available year round. You don't have to win a lottery; you just got to apply. 620 minimum FICOs for FHA, 660 for conventional. It's only 3.5% of the purchase price worth of assistance. The Dream for All is 20%, so it's helpful. But it's not as helpful because it's only 3.5% versus 20. And the good thing is that this one isn't a shared appreciation loan. It's just a regular loan where you don't share the value of the house that appreciates. Now, the Dream for All, which is what brought most of us here, requires one first generation home buyer. I have a couple. The husband, his parents have owned homes, so he's no longer a first generation home buyer. But his wife, her parents have never owned homes. So she's a first generation home buyer, and because we only need one, they still both qualify. Everyone has to be a first time home buyer, but we need at least one first generation home buyer, and everyone has to occupy the loan. So we can't have a co-borrower that isn't going to live in the house. Your income limit in LA is 168 for this program. And one of the really key things, in case you think you make too much, is we don't have to use all of your income. According to the guidelines by the state, if, for example, you get $140,000 in regular pay and you get $30,000 in overtime, we don't have to use the overtime. We can use just the regular pay. That way we stay within the income limit. So that's the program between the Dream for All. It's a great program, right? The downside is that you're going to share your appreciation when you exit the program. I've done the math. The interest that it saves you by being on this program, you're going to pay it later in equity. One isn't better than the other. The one that's best for you, it really depends on you and your goals. A lot of us, this is the one we want because we don't want to live too far. And this allows us to live closer in the neighborhoods where we grew up in. Because the 3 rules in real estate are location, location, location. That's why people love this one. Even if I got to give up a little bit of equity, at least I get to live in the house that I want. But there are other programs, non-state down payment assistance programs, which will take you as low as 580 in FICOs. They're repayable and forgivable. The state is my favorite. I love to go to the state because they have programs that are just engineered to help people. They're not like a bank that are trying to make money. They just want to help people. There's a lot of programs out there. There's one that we have. It's a forgivable empowered down payment assistance program where it's a grant where 3.5% of the purchase price of that house. You don't pay it back, right? And it sounds great, but the rate on that is high. It's like 7.5 points. And so the way they sell it is they tell you, hey, don't worry, you can just refinance. But with the cost, after you pay for the cost of refinancing all the extra interest, you don't save any money. The only thing that really happens is the lender gets paid twice for doing two loans. The state has great programs, and sometimes they have programs that are offering forgivable down payment assistance program. And sometimes other banks like to make programs similar to appear as though they're coming from the state and appear as, hey, these are good programs too. But you really shouldn't be looking at those programs unless you have bad credit and there's no other choice. But so which is why the first thing we do is we try to rapid rescore you to get you above 620. That way we can at least get you to Cal HFA. The state's going to take care of us better than any bank. And so this is a great example. This house is purchased with a down payment assistance. All right, their rent at this time was less than their mortgage. Their mortgage is now less than their rent. But the biggest difference that they have between buying this house and continuing to rent is that these folks here have 400K worth of equity. You know, how much have we paid in rent for how long, and what do we have to show for it? You know, like we said earlier with Michelle, hey, we're gonna get you into the house. It might be it might be hard at first, but hey, once you make it through it, it's all life is downhill from there. You're gonna start building equity. Your mortgage, your housing payments stop going up. They get more affordable. In fact, if the rates drop, you can refinance and lower your mortgage payments. You can't do that with rent. And so this is what's possible with down payment assistance. So I know we don't have the cash, but luckily we live in a great state and we have a lot of resources to help us buy our first house. Now, does everybody see how you can utilize the government systems in order to help you buy a house with little or no money out of pocket? Can I get a thumbs up in the chat, or can you unmute yourself and say yes?
Yes.
Perfect. Yes, sure. Awesome. Cool. All right. So secret number 3. When is it my turn to buy a house? How do I know when I'm ready? So these are the 4 questions you want to ask yourself to see when you're mentally and emotionally ready. You know, what is your why? Why do you want to buy a house? You know, how long do you plan to live in there? Are you in the military? Are you going to move around? Are you just graduating for school? Or are you going to move somewhere for a job? Are you purchasing a house with someone you're confident with, like a family member versus a boyfriend, you know? And are you ready to take on the responsibility of owning a house? I hate cleaning my house, but I also hate seeing it dirty. And as much as I hate cleaning, man, you have to set time apart, because I don't want to be the one person in the neighborhood that is, you know, like the bad apple. So it's more time, and it's, you know, bills too. So it's a lot of responsibility. We have to make sure we're ready. Financially, we got to look at your credit. The better your credit, the more options you're going to have, the better options. Cash, you're going to want to have a nest egg after you purchase your house, because you're going to run into expenses that you probably didn't anticipate. Your income, right? Do you have a stable source of income? You know what I mean? So if you're a salaried person, it's an hourly worker is a very stable income. If you're a commission-based salesperson, you know, we're going to have to look to see, you know, the stability of your income to see if it's variable, or how much of your income we can qualify based on, you know, it not being stable or not. But basically, once we assess your income and your credit, we get what's called your debt to income ratio. And this is what decides your maximum purchasing price. Every program has its limit. The state would allow you to use 50% of your income to pay for your mortgage and your ongoing debts, like your credit cards and your car payments, whatever's on your credit report. And so once we get to 50% with the state, we can't go higher in mortgage payment. And so the less debt you have, the more income, the more you're going to be able to buy. Your job, right? You only need 2 years worth of work history. It doesn't have to be in the same job. It just has to be in the same field. But you can't go from being a mechanic to being a doctor, or from being a doctor to being a mechanic. And if you do that, you're gonna have to reestablish your work history. But if you went from Bank of America to Bank of the West, it's the same field, and so you don't have to have 2 years in the same job, because you were still in the same field. They're going to verify, the state always verifies your taxes. So be prepared to send your tax returns. If there's anything on your tax returns that we should be aware of, just let us know so we can, help you out. Because there's sometimes programs that we can use they're not going to use your taxes if they're going to be a problem. Cash, you need enough down and enough for the closing costs. But like I said, we can get down payment from the state. We can find a down payment for you, and the closing costs we can negotiate. So what we need is we just need people to step up, be brave, and get ready to buy a house. Because the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Okay. So far, we've covered how to save up to $55,000 when you buy a house, how to buy a house with little to no money out of pocket, and when is the best time for you to buy a house, how to find out when you're ready. I want to ask you guys a few questions. Do you feel more comfortable now with the home buying process? Give me a thumbs up in the chat or say yes. Mute yourself and say yes if you do.
Yes.
Thank you, Sophia. Appreciate you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. I think that was Leo. Eddie, appreciate you. All right, let's go. Okay. Were you happy that you came to the webinar today? We got already one yes. Everyone else happy they came to the webinar. Let's go. Okay. Would you like to spend more time together? Dive deep into your numbers and see how much home you can get approved for. Right now, we're at a crossroads. We can take a left turn and just stay in the comfort zone and do nothing, right? Just live comfortably. Or we can take a right turn, make a call and see what's available, see what's possible, and then the discovery call is going to be a 5-8 minute call. And you're going to tell me, hey, Eric, I get paid salary, I get paid hourly, and we're going to calculate your income. Then you're going to tell me basically what's on your credit report, car payments, credit cards. We don't have to pull your credit. You can tell me more or less, what your scores are based on, what you see on the applications when you open your bank app. And then based on that, I'm going to tell you, hey, on the Dream for All, you can buy about this much money, about this much worth of house. Without the Dream for All, you can buy this much. And so without pulling your credit, without committing, we're going to tell you what your options are. And then if you like your option, you say, Eric, I kind of like the way the numbers sound. The payments are good. I'm good with the cash to close, and I'm ready to buy. We're gonna help you gather your document, and we're gonna help you fill out your questionnaire. It's gonna take about 15 minutes if you decide to step forward. Then we're gonna give you a personalized loan plan. Once we have all your information, we're gonna give you a chart like this that compares renting and buying to see if it is actually mathematically better for you to buy, or if it's better to rent. We're also going to give you we're going to look at what you got going on to see what we can improve, so that when you buy your house, you're in the best credit position possible so you can save money. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to show you your options. If you're VA, you should go VA. If you can go VA, always go VA. But if you're not, we're going to show you FHA conventional. We're going to show you how they stack up to each other for your situation, is decide which one's better. The better your credit is, the more you have down, the more likely conventional will be the best choice for you. But we're going to do the math, just figure out FHA conventional, which one best suits you. Part 4, right? Once you decide, hey, Eric, I like everything I heard, we'll be able to give you your pre-approval letter, all right? So you can start shopping if you want. You make offers, people will take you seriously because they know that you're a qualified buyer. It's going to save you time and effort. It's going to speed up our closing. It's going to save us a lot of anxiety too. If I call the listing agent and say, hey, I'm so far done with this file, all I need is an appraisal to close this deal, they're going to choose our deal over other, because they know that, hey, we're at the finish line. We're already been approved by the underwriter, and all we got to do is just make sure that the house within value and we'll close. And so that'll give us, preference amongst other offers. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to connect you with a top performing realtor with local knowledge. All the credits that we got are key to our program. If it wasn't for the realtors that we work with, we wouldn't be successful. We need realtors with strong negotiating skills, not just with local market, because they all live there, they all grew up in the neighborhoods that they're selling in, but someone that's able to get you the credits that you need so you can go zero to pocket, little money out of pocket. Someone with a proven track record. It's important for me to get you the credit. So it's important for us to work with the realtors that we set you up with. And so this is part of the gift. The second thing you need to do to claim your your $5,000 gift is text me when you want to set up an appointment. Let's book a call. If you book a call and reschedule, that's fine. As long as you book a call within 48 hours, we're gonna honor our gift. Most of this money comes from the real estate agents. This comes from the commission that they would get. I twist their arms and I tell them, hey, if you want to work my customers, you got to give them a discount. And they don't like it, but hey, if we do our part and we commit, we'll commit and we'll do our part and we'll save you money on your closing costs. So text me when you want to have that appointment. If we reschedule, we reschedule. With sometime before now and 7 p.m. Saturday, and we're gonna honor this gift for you. So here's the number. Just say, hey, Eric, I want an appointment in 2 days, in 3 days. The appointment can be in a month. As long as you book that appointment within the next 48 hours, we'll honor the gift. So feel free to text me right now. What time will be best for a meeting?
Excuse me, I have a question. How many
Yes, ma'am.
people could be on the loan?
So on this one, for conventional, there's no strict limit. This one, the guideline the state gives is that as long as everyone is going to live in the house, and then altogether the income limit can't go above the county limit. So the limit to how many people on the Dream for All is going to be set by the income. But for conventional loans, there is no limit.
I have a question. I'm not sure if you answered this already. For the Dream for All, for the down payment assistance, does it have to be an FHA or can also be a conventional?
So the Dream for All this time around, it's only conventional. Last time it was either or, but this time it's conventional only.
It's only conventional this time?
That's correct. Yes, sir. That's why, yeah, this time they raised the credit limit, the credit requirement because conventional had that requirement at 660. It's 660 for people that are within the low income limit. For folks that are in the regular income limit, it's 680.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
No. I heard isn't it, the banks are like being more strict when they give loans out right now, and then also the interest rates, aren't they kind of high right now also?
So it's a relative question because rates are coming down. They're lower than where they used to be. But are they as low as they were when before this whole thing started? No, there's still a lot of room to recover. As far as our banks, this is the last year. We've dropped almost 1% with the interest. So as far as are banks harder, are they more difficult to acquire? That's not my experience. But then again, I am a broker. And so like as a broker, I have, 150 different investors that we work with. So we can always find an investor that's a good fit for you. Because most I was showing in the earlier example, most banks won't work with 580 FICOs. They won't work with anything lower than 620. But one of the 100, or actually several of the 150 that we work with said that they'll take it as long as we get an approved eligible reading and your findings. So personally, I have not been having trouble getting folks loan. I think it's business as normal.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Also, I have one more question. What can we stack programs?
So the programs that can stack is the Hero Home Buying Program, the gift for this program here, where we're gonna save you money on your closing costs. And then so because the Long Beach program, you have to actually that one you can actually stack. Because the Long Beach program doesn't require you to go to any specific bank. Most programs are like, hey, in order to get this program, in order to get these funds, use these funds, you gotta use this one bank. Long Beach, the city of Long Beach, they didn't put that on their grant guidelines, and that's rare though. It doesn't always happen that way. So yeah, like there's a lot of times we're looking at programs where like, hey, we got a closing cost assistance here, and then we got closing cost assistance here and down payment assistance here. A lot of times you can't take that and the down payment assistance to the closing cost assistance back. But Cal HFA does have closing cost assistance. So Cal HFA, you can add closing cost assistance to your loan. Adding the closing cost assistance does have a negative effect on the rate, as in it goes up when we add closing cost assistance. But generally speaking, the more help we get, the higher the rate's going to be. So can we stack it? Usually no. Usually no. Usually the programs have to be offered by the same investor, so to speak. So very rarely you can stack. If you can, believe me, you just tell us, hey, I heard about this, heard about that, and we'll look into the guidance to see if we can stack it for you just to help you save more money. Can we buy down the rate with down payment assistance programs? So on the Cal HFA one, that one, no, the buying down rate on non-state down payment assistance programs is possible. The state, they don't have investors, so to speak. When you buy down the rate, you're basically telling the bank, hey, I'm gonna give you this much profit if you give me a lower rate. And the investors are taking that. They're the ones collecting that. And essentially to them, it's a bet whether they're gonna make or save money. The state is not making money. They don't have investors, so they offer just a one rate for everybody. So Cal HFA, you cannot buy the rate down. All other, if they're regular banks, you can. So before I forget, if you guys know anyone that can use this information, we will be happy to give you like up to $2,000 if you refer someone to us that closes a deal at via refinance or they purchase something, or they purchase a house. So if you know anyone that can use this information, please send them our number and then tell us that you're sending them to us. That way we can get you your referral. Thank you for sending us people that you know that might need houses. Yeah, and do we have any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Say, we get approved or I get approved and all that, and if I get a house that has like extra rooms, are we allowed to rent them out to be able
Yeah.
to help cover the mortgage payment?
Yes. Once you buy a house, it's your house. The bank's not
Okay.
gonna come up and check up on you. Um, see what you're doing. So, like, yeah, you can rent out your house to whomever you want.
Okay, and then also like if I were to get a house that has a decent sized backyard, is it possible to put an ADU and also rent that out also?
That's correct. Yeah. So single family unit allows for ADU. It won't change this definition the way the banks see it.
Okay.
So there's another question in the chat that says, can we buy duplexes on this program? The state of California, CalHFA, limits us to single family or condos or manufactured home with attached land. So no duplexes for Cal HFA, but there are the non-state down payment assistance programs that do allow for duplexes. So yes and no. Not from Cal HFA, but from other down payment assistance programs, yes.
And we can buy a new build also. I'm not sure if you mentioned that before.
Yeah, so correct. So yeah, the house being new build doesn't add any risk, doesn't really affect the loan at all. Um Typically, like, the only effect it has is like you get higher loan limits for certain, like if like, let's say you're doing a 1031 exchange and you're going into a house with a higher limit, you're going into a new build, you get a higher limit than what you would otherwise be allowed to. But generally speaking, whether you buy a new build or a house that's 40 years old, 80 years old, it won't affect the loan.
Also, the Dream for All when does that lotto take place?
So
are they-
on the 14th, I believe, on the 16th, they're closing the portal, so no one else will be able to register for the vouchers. Last time it took them over 2 weeks to select the participants. I think it might be faster this time. So around the end of March, we should know via email if we got selected or not. After that, if you get selected, you got 90 days to lock up the funds, to use the funds. If we don't use the funds within 90 days, they're going to go to the next person. So that's one of the new parameters on the Dream for this time. So yeah, and then we can actually start registering on the 24th. We don't have to. I suggest we don't wait for the last day, just in case there's something we got to do, to our credit. Um, we can always address the credit issues. But yeah, we can start registering on February the 24th, and March 16th is the last day. I'm actually starting to get everything ready for everybody now, just in case there's something that we need to address with the credit. We still have time.
So you said that the only people who are going to be put in the lottery is have already been pre-approved, right?
So yeah, part of the voucher, they're going to ask you for the pre-approval letter, which we're going to write for you, and they will also ask for like proof of FICOs. So and we'll give you the first page of your credit pull to submit. That way, the state knows, hey, you're going to require this much funds. You're going to set this much funds aside for you, and that you have the credit for the program. And so how long does it take to close escrow? I've closed CalFA escrows in 21 days before. Some FHA loans you can close faster, as soon as 17 days, but with CalFA, at some point, once the underwriter approves everything, they actually send it to CalFA, and then their underwriter looks through everything to make sure it's within their guidelines. And once we get their blessing, then they send it back. That takes 2 to 4 days. So 21 days to close on a CalFA loan.
I
Any
have
other
another
questions?
question. The last time that they did this, I think it was a couple years ago, right? But it was under another name.
So they
The
did it.
program.
They did it last year twice. I think no, I shouldn't. This is the third time they come out with the dream. At least the third time that I've known the program to be out. But yeah, there's gonna be more opportunity. Like ideally, we don't want it to wait for more opportunity. But in case we don't, get this program, there's going to be more opportunity down the road. Cal HFA is always coming up with programs to help folks. I remember not too long ago we had the Cal Homes program, and they were offering up to 200K, but you had to buy houses in Norwalk. It was to like select cities. The good thing about Cal HFA is it's anywhere within the state you can buy a house. But yeah, so don't feel bad if we don't get this program. There'll be plenty of opportunity down the line that we'll be able to we'll be able to get you into a house.
Okay. And this one is for all of California, right? Not just Orange County and Long Beach or LA.
Yeah, that's correct. Anywhere within California. The only thing that they're gonna care about is how far you live from work. If you're like, let's say more than 50 miles, the underwriter might ask, hey, how do you plan to commute from work? Because they're worried about your costs of getting to work affecting your ability to pay your mortgage. Like it's not just the gas, but the wear and tear on your car.
Yeah.
I've had folks where they work in the metro, and they were literally buying a house right next to the train, and the train would get them to work in 20 minutes. It would take them 30 minutes to drive from work or to work from where they currently live. Even though they were living farther, it would be quicker because they have a train. And that's something that they verified and said, okay, we're good with that. I had a nurse who they work, 3 days at a time and then they go home for 4 days. And so if that's the case, hey, you're doing shift work like that, you're only driving to work once or twice a week, they're okay with the distance being further out. But generally speaking, they want anywhere within California as long as you can still work there. So if you work from home, then there's like no restrictions. Um, but yeah, so as long as you can comfortably get to work, uh, you can buy a house anywhere in California.
Okay, cool. I think I have one more question. I'm so sorry. I'm like
No worries.
bugging with all the questions. So say like we get picked or I get picked and then but I only qualify for a certain amount. Like, is there another option to get like an older house and maybe for like a fixer upper or not so much fixer upper, but like that's not in the great shape just to be able to afford to get into it and then just do work on it over time or something?
So yeah, the
Or do,
the good thing,
or
yeah.
do,
So the good was that,
or
yeah.
do you not recommend that just because, I mean, obviously none of us want to get into a house that needs work, but
No, to each their own. A lot of some of us, like maybe you like working with your hands. Maybe you've done it and you know how to do it. You can save yourself a lot of money because you can always, that equity that you build, you can pocket it. It becomes yours. If you fix your house. So it's a good idea. And so, what was your question again? Oh, do
the
I
only
recommend it?
reason, because if we only qualified with our credit for a certain
Oh,
amount, other option to get into a house would be get something cheaper, which obviously would
yeah,
only be like something that's older that would need help, would like me needing work,
yeah,
um, and just fix it a little bit over time just to be able to get into a house.
yeah.
But
So
is
the
that
good thing,
something that you recommend or you don't recommend doing? Or
yeah, I actually like personally, I do recommend doing it. That way. You can you whatever you do, you can capture the equity of that. And so yeah, it's a conventional loan, which means that like FHA and VA, they're very strict on the quality of the house. As long as the house is livable, you're gonna get approved for your conventional loan. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can have stucco missing, as long as there's not like no missing steps. There's no like danger to your health. You'll be fine on a conventional loan. But yeah, so I definitely recommend it, especially to those who are well at first, or that know how to like work on those things themselves. So I don't have anything against buying a fixer upper. And Eddie, so when you're a hybrid worker, and you have multiple locations, they consider that. And they like, I had someone who was a carpenter, and literally every day they tell him to go somewhere different. So for him, it didn't really matter where he worked. All we had to do was get the statement from their employer saying that this person is a remote worker, and that they're okay with you living in whatever city it is you're buying a house. So like for your instance, they'll probably say, yeah, you know what, we're okay with Eddie living in downtown LA, or near Santa Ana or near Brea. Or even though it's far from one of those locations, because he might be in one of the others where she normally goes to. So there's no telling which one he's going to be at. So as long as we get that statement from your work and they say they're fine with it, the underwriter will be good with it. Okay, will be good with it too. Yes, sir. Any other questions?
no question for me. I'm just ready to schedule an appointment with you so we can get the process started for me.
Yes, sir. Have you texted me yet?
What do you want me to text you with? That I'm ready to schedule, or when do you want to
Yeah, text me
see?
to this number, your ideal time, or just text whenever. That way we can lock you in for the gift.
Well, how long does the call take? Just because on Thursdays and Fridays I get off early, but I do have another appointment at 3, so I have a couple hours from the
Yeah.
time I get off work until my next appointment. So, how long is usually the call take?
5-10 minutes. The discovery call, just we're basically just gonna tell me, hey, this is how much I make. I get paid by the hour salary. This is how much debt I have. This is where my credit score's at. So it
Okay.
won't take long, but yeah, if you need to reschedule, we can always reschedule it. As long as you texted me, hey, I want an appointment within the next 48 hours, we'll give you your gift.
Okay, cool. I'll text you right now. Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to get this process started, man. Because last time that I missed the opportunity on the program, man, I was really bummed out and I was really hard on myself that I let it pass me by. So I'm not gonna let this one pass me up this time.
Awesome. All right. I like the way that sounds. And thank you for you reminding me of something. Robert Boyos is my partner. He is my loan officer assistant. He is training to get his license and become a loan officer himself. He is going to be helping me gathering documents and getting you guys approved. So if Robert Boyos calls you, know that he's from me. He's actually in the webinar right now.
Hello,
Um,
everybody.
there he is.
I
Very
don't
nice
have a
guy.
I don't have a camera on my computer, but I've been listening right along and real excited to get some of you folks going on the program.
Yeah. So Robert's a great guy. I love him. He's my brother. And he's gonna help us out. Um, anyone have any other questions?
Hi, yes, I have a question. Let's say if I'm doing it with my mom to buy a home, but I have social and she has an 18. Is 18 okay or no?
So there are I-10 programs. We can put you on an I-10 loan, but we cannot put an I-10 holder on a regular loan. Um, so there is an I-10 program with 3.5% down. So if you guys do have 3.5% to put down, we can add your mom. It does make the rate go up substantially. Um, Ideally, if you can get another co-borrower, it would be better. Just that way we don't have to deal with the higher rate, and we can still
Oh, okay.
qualify for down payment assistance.
Okay, thank you.
All right, yes, sir, Eddie, got you, yes, sir. So the gift, basically, like, here, let me see if I can, um, is a discount on your closing cost. So it can be used towards any of your cost of the close at closing. When after we close, the escrow will send checks to the realtor and myself, and that's when um once we get paid for them, that's when we issue out the checks to you guys. So there's a little delay in when you get your money, but you do get your money. All right. Does anyone have any other questions?
Que viven en El Paso, Texas, en las cruces, México, e incluso
Dice que es eso,
en Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua, México. Y esto es
Hello? Anyone have any other questions?
One more question. Hello?
Yep.
Oh, if by chance I don't qualify for myself, if I find somebody that's willing to sign for me, does that person have to live in the house also, or can they just be like a co-owner?
So I'll tell you the truth. For this program, if it appears like it's obvious that they're not going to live with you, then the underwriter's going to be like, hey, they're not going to be, they can't be on the loan. If it appears like, hey, they're going to assume that the people qualifying are going to live in the house. So let's say, you guys, it's you and your cousin, or you and someone that you work with, or you and someone that works nearby. So that, hey, it looks like, yeah, that house is actually going to serve for them as a house too. If it looks as if they're going to move in, then they probably won't question it. Unless they have a reason to question it, they'll just believe that whoever's on the loan is also moving in.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Eddie, you got any
Uh,
questions?
yes. How long does it take to qualify for the loan so we can get put into the dream lotto pool?
So, if you send all the docs, we can pre-approve you overnight. Usually that's what I do. 9 to 5, I'm usually working on the escrows that we got going on, the deals that we got going on, and then after that, like after 6 o'clock, I'll work on pre-approving all the folks that have their docs in. So you turn them in today, tomorrow morning you should have your pre-approval letter, and
And
that letter was that.
also, do you take child support as income?
So in any income we have to be able to count on it for 3 years. So as long as child support, how old is your child?
16, but my exes owe me
So yeah, because what the way they do the child support is they ask for the child support award letter, and then
yeah.
basically they want to see 3 years before child support ends in order to count it. So if you have 3 years left, then we'll be able to use it.
Okay, so yeah, she's 16, but the thing is they owe me rears also. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so unless they win the lotto, it won't be paid off, but I am getting about 195 per week right now.
Yeah. And so because yeah, and maybe a co-signer might serve as something that can make up the difference. because that is a pretty good amount, and that will help you qualify. Usually, I don't tell folks, hey, just get a co-signer to help you qualify, because even if you qualify, you got to make the payment. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Um,
no, the thing is, no, I was seeing if I could put myself on the loan, but I'm really on this because it's my mother and my two sons. They
okay,
have work histories that go back years, that go beyond 2 years. So I was just saying to put myself on the loan. But even if I'm not on the loan, we'll be able to get the
okay,
home. But
yes, ma'am.
so would you be able, if I send you my email, would you be able to send me the documents that I need to send you? And then I could scan them and send them to you?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, text me your email. Text me to this number up here, and I'll email them to you.
Okay, the number that you were texting us from, correct?
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I think I saw something. How long? Oh, while waiting for results of the rapid research group, can we start registering for the DFA? Yes, yes, you can. I've had one customer where we had to send in the package, and at that time they didn't have the FICOs. In lieu of the FICOs, what I sent was the current FICOs and the rapid rescore plan. And I wrote a letter to the College of Face saying that they don't currently have the FICOs, but we're 20 points away and we're gonna get there with this plan, and they accepted it. Does anyone else have any questions?
I just thought of one more question. I'm so sorry.
March,
So what
go
if
for it.
my score wasn't like, or I want to get my score up to get a better approval or a better score for the bank? Like, could I be an authorized user only during that time?
So
Like,
authorized
so the
users,
score can be better.
yeah, those authorized users are they work. If there were some of the most effective ways of boosting your credit, it's called like the cheater method in credit rebuilding when you just become an authorized user on someone else's account. Ideally, you want someone with an account that has a long history of being open, a large limit, and a low balance and good score. Those are the four characters that are going to help you the most. And I've seen people go from 600 to 660, just go up 60 points just on that. But yeah, the more ideal the candidate, the better the more they're going to help. But it takes 45 days to show up sometimes. It can be quicker. It just depends on when the company that we're applying to be authorized users on, it depends on what day of the month they report to the credit bureaus. And it also depends on when the credit bureaus update. So it could be up to 45 days.
Depending on what credit card that we get on authorized user, can't you request for them to like expedite that to report it sooner?
You know what? I think there is. I've never done it. I think I've tried to do it one time. Um, because I looked at I've done rapid rescores in escrow, and there was one customer who I was like they found their house and they're like, man, we're not done yet, but like I'm gonna try to stall the closing for a little while to give us more time. And I was doing soft pulls like every day to see when they would show up, and they finally showed up. Um, and I think when I was doing that, I saw like a way to speed it up. It costs money at the end of the day. I think that's what that was the case. It's going to cost money to speed it up.
Aren't some of the different credit cards are different, right? On how long they take to report it.
Yeah, exactly. It depends, because there are some credit rebuilders that sell accounts for you to use as authorized users. They're not cheap. The good thing is that they know when they're going to report, and they know, what I mean. So like, if you're like, hey, I need something in 15 days, you could go to someone like that, and buy one of those accounts, and it'll show up, quicker, because they'll pick one that's going to report soon. Um, but ideally, you want to ask a friend or a family member, so it's free.
Yeah, and I know somebody that might be willing to help me with that. That's why I asked because I just remembered.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
There's people that make good money doing that. I don't know. There's not me, unfortunately. I don't have that big of a credit limit, but there's people that sell those services, and they make decent money. doing that. But go for it. I think someone else had a question.
Yeah, it's Michelle. So if I putting my daughter on my credit, if I have really good credit, that helps her. Does she have to use the credit card? Or no. Yeah.
No, she doesn't even have to have the credit card.
Oh, good.
The credit card can go to you and you can hold it. And she's going to piggyback on your history. Basically, everything you did becomes her history.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Yeah, I can put her on my credit cards. I don't. She's not going to try to use them. She already knows.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And thanks for everything. I'm going to disconnect. I
Yes,
already
ma'am.
text you for our appointment.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Take care.
You too. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Bye bye.
Any other questions anyone got?
Yeah, the Dream for All program, does it restrict you like where you can live? Because I tried the NACA program and I didn't go through with it because
Yeah.
they didn't allow certain zip codes and I didn't
Yeah.
like that.
The NACA program sounds beautiful. On paper, it's amazing, but it's a headache to work with because it's so selective of where you can buy a house. It have to be, I think, revitalization neighborhoods. But the Dream for All Califate has no restrictions anywhere in California. Doesn't
Oh,
matter.
that's good. That's good. Yeah, because there is sadly a lot of bad neighborhoods, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
No, I get you. Um, yeah, no, I understand. But yeah, this one we don't have to worry about it.
okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, Ariana, thank you for being here. I'm excited. I'm gonna give you guys a call. I think we're already pre-approved. We just got to get you on this program. I think a few of us are already pre-approved here, but we're just waiting for the right time to get on this program. Anyone else has questions? If no one else has questions, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to an end. And we'll be in touch. I'll be texting everybody that showed up. I want to see if you guys are some of you may not be interested now, but maybe down the line. But we'll be in touch. I'll call everybody and I'll see you guys at your appointments.
Thank you so much.
Of course, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, I couldn't see anyone's camera until now. Hey, Sophia. I think you're on mute.
I'm still at work, that's why I've been quiet,
Mm,
but now I'm trying to
It's
log off.
okay. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you coming.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You have a good one. Eric, thank you for coming. Leo, thank you for coming. Alma, Robert, I'm gonna talk to you in a bit. Eric, Alexander, you have a great first name. I can't wait to talk to you one on one.